All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic start to the AM here. Happy Monday. And yeah, let's get after it here today. Hopefully, we can have a good, strong to the week here after a little bit of a frustrating Friday. But yeah, excited to be back. Excited to see what the market has in store for us here this AM. And hopefully, right, we can have ourselves a pretty successful trading session. From an economic calendar perspective, right, things are going to be a little bit busier here this week, right? We've got a lot of like Powell speak. I mean, Powell's talking tomorrow. That's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to have CPI, we're going to have PMI. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think we're going to have a lot of stuff potentially here in store. And hopefully, right, that gives us a little bit of a catalyst. The other story that doesn't seemingly want to go away is Powell being fired or kept on or fired or kept on, whatever mood I guess president is in for when he wakes up. But that's going to create possibly a little bit of extra volatility for us. And the objective here, right, is to hopefully get after it. Yeah, hopefully, right, we can have ourselves a good day, a good week, and yeah, really kick off here with some enthusiasm. So first things first here, let's start mapping things out. Good morning, everybody, and yeah, let's go from there. So figured out what was wrong with the indicator. Someone a couple weeks ago asked to do some alert logic. That alert logic basically was what screwed up everything. So I've had to remove that, and it should be back to normal here. I believe it's also been published now on TradingView. So after the stream here, I'll find the link and I'll post that as well. But hopefully that should mean no issues here with the indicator going forward. And yeah, we can have ourselves a good just textbook yeah, clean trading day or clean trading week. So all right, let's start mapping things out. So it's a red candle decreasing volume, right, relative to Thursday, and then it's gapping up. So it's a 1 for 3 here to the downside, and we're looking right for a breakout towards 63.60. Not too much needs to go there. And then to the downside here, we're looking at 63.30 as our starting point, and then breaking down from there. So not too much. But yeah, let's just see that enthusiasm creep in first, and then we can be aggressive. All right, NQ. So Doji increasing volume, right? Barely, and then again, gap up. So we're going to call this a weak 2 out of 3 there to the downside with volume. And it's weak in 2 contexts here, right? It's a weak candle shape and it's a weak volume profile. Although the volume is technically increasing, it's barely increasing and it's less than outlier. So still reasonable for us to have a little bit of a two-way bias here, albeit maybe a little bit more cautiously, right, than what we have on yes. To the upside here, we're going to be targeting 23,300. That hasn't changed. To the downside here, 23.2. Again, hasn't changed. And then we're looking for follow through down towards 22.8. Fine. Again, nothing really needs to change there. All right, crude. So today, the roll should be done for or should be over. Hopefully that means that it's a smooth trading day. We'll sanity check this just to make sure that we're trading the CLU contract, not the CLQ. So we'll double check that here potentially if we do get a setup. But with the roll being done, this should be a little bit smoother and a little bit cleaner for us to trade. We're looking at a red candle, increasing volume, gap down. So it is a 3 for 3 here to the downside. And we're just going to remind ourselves, right, it's the first day post-roll. Okay, and then we're looking for a move here, 65.50 is kind of where we're at here pre-market. So we're looking for a move 65, then down towards, we go like 64, pretty reasonable. And then we'll go 63.50, 63. So a lot of space there to the downside for us. Yeah, same way I pretty much always set my key levels, Ghost, right? 100 points along the way on NQ, 10 points along the way there on ES. So it's just, yeah, round numbers. Pretty much the same way. Instead of it being, okay, here, right, it's 23,329. So I'm just rounding that down to 23.3. Same way I've always done. So the next level is 23.4, 23.5, et cetera, et cetera. All right, Apple doesn't quite look like it qualified as an inside bar. We are going to technically call this a 3 for 3 here to the upside. Tesla, same thing, 3 for 3 here to the upside. Microsoft, 3 for 3 to the downside. Amazon, 3 for 3 to the upside. Nvidia, not quite an inside bar, did make a higher high, did make a higher low. Also 1 for 3 here to the downside, setting up as consolidation. Okay, AMD, red candle, decreasing volume gap up. So again, 1 for 3. Meta, $700, crazy. 3 for 3. Netflix, pretty big volume there. Kind of makes sense post earnings. And we're looking at this as a 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume post earnings. So it doesn't change too much. And then Google, week 2 out of 3 without volume, or sorry, with volume. But again, right, higher high, higher low, gapping up above, right, Friday's high. Reasonable. And then the old Vixaruni 16.9. So approximately a little bit more than 1% of implied daily range here today. Let's see if we can get that consolidation breakout, right? We had 1 day of trending action there last week, not 2 or 3. We're kind of hoping for 3 or 4 here today, right? To give us a bit of a smoother session and hopefully a little bit of some cleaner price action. And yeah, hopefully we can have ourselves a strong day. For me, my priority here this week is really simple. I think last week was a relatively reasonable trading week, but by like Thursday, I was pretty burnt out and pretty tired. Like the emotional exhaustion, I think, of ending the streak, and then on Thursday, like made a mistake, right? That I just wasn't very happy with. Like I gave away so much profit. After Friday's session, I was sitting there thinking, like, oh, I should take the rest of the week off. I should take the rest of the week off. I didn't quite do that. I didn't really listen to my body. I kind of allowed myself to get stressed and to like just trade when I was maybe a little bit emotionally exhausted. I think that there probably should have been, like last week should have been a celebratory week, and I didn't really turn it into that. I was having this discussion with my dad over the weekend, and I was telling him, like I kind of felt like Scotty Scheffler. Scotty was talking about on Tuesday or whatever it was. He was talking about how like winning the Open Championship or winning a golf tournament or whatever, like it feels really good for 2 minutes. And then once those 2 minutes are up, he gets like no meaning from it. It's kind of the same way with with trading. It feels like sometimes like the feeling of ending a 27-day winning streak where I made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then to have like one bad day, it makes you forget how quickly how quickly things change, I guess, or like how quickly you forget how good the last month was. And yeah, I think next time, right? They need to be a bit more proactive and actually like take that moment to celebrate and to enjoy it and to like value it because yeah, I think yeah, Thursday, Friday, I didn't feel that way. I felt stressed and annoyed and anxious and pissed off. And I know like objective reason to be. So just being a bit more proactive, right? Being a little bit more appreciative, I guess, of the moment that I was in. That for me, I think is something really to focus on. Yeah, Ghost, good question. So yeah, I am looking for long-term time frames to dictate for me the directional bias, and then I'm looking for short-term signals to accomplish basically that thesis or to execute that thesis. It's not to say that I don't or won't draw trend lines there on shorter time frames, but um, generally no. Like I'll generally just use the opening range as my setup trigger. But yeah, I mean there will be times where I'll draw stuff out for sure, and that's a part of it. But no, primarily looking for long-term signal and then short-term support of that signal. Yeah, excited to see what today has in store here. Really, the focus for me is to manage my stress well here this week, and hopefully have ourselves a good one, and then yeah, set ourselves up for what should hopefully be a successful week. So, any questions here, team? All right, sweet. So we're ready to get after it here. Hopefully, it's a big day. Yeah, if the Discord says it's full, you're more than welcome to use the YouTube. It's the exact same stream, no difference whatsoever. Tradeify made me do a new password here this morning, Logan. Maybe there's something there. All right, so let's get after it and see what the market has in store for us here today. Yeah, let's have ourselves a day. All right, I'm just gonna grab my laptop here, guys. I'll be back in a second, and we'll kick things off. You need to go through the whole process of saving the chart, right? So that same thing of saving the chart and running it. So it won't work if you still have the previous chart layout up because it needs to have the new indicator, right, logged in. So you have to update your saved layout. All right, so let's mark it open here. Let's see how things creep up or how the day comes together. And let's see. Which browser are you using, Ghost? Okay, interesting. I mean, I use a MacBook with worse specs than that. And I have no issues with my trading view. I use the online web version, not a specific, not their specific application. I have no idea. I use Chrome. It doesn't work very well in Safari. That was what was going to be my suggestion. Yeah, like the charts, your computer spec should be more than enough to be able to handle trading view. No, it did not, Logan. Did not make me re-enter a card for zero. Oh, excuse me. They're not a huge range on ES. Same thing with NQ. Like Friday was a relatively choppy, indecisive day with small ranges. We're like barely bigger than that and not on exactly better volume than what we saw there on Friday. So we do need to be a little bit cautious. NQ maybe struggling a little bit around 300. Excuse me. Now let's see if this works. So this should be the link for the script. So if you guys had issues with it, couldn't load that up, you should be able to just add that now as an indicator. Okay, well that alert seems off. I'm gonna get rid of these. That should be showing it with volume. Volume isn't there. Right now, John, you can see the time frame here on the upper left-hand side of the corner, right? So all the information you need to know about what chart I am on or what time frame, you can find it by just looking at my screen. So 3 here is indicated, 3 here is also indicated. I need to be able to keep track of those details. I'm not going to have, honestly, the ability to be able to tell you which time frame I'm bouncing between each time. That's something you need to be able to pick out visually. Okay, so we're just looking for a little bit of volume to show back up here and indicate for us an element of enthusiasm. Okay, this is off. Uh, all right, so the profit target's not working the way that I expected. Again, you guys will bear with me here a little bit while I make those changes. And it's not going to change too much. We can still manually map it out, no problem. That's a bit behaving a little bit differently than I expected. Yes, Doug. As per the instructions in the Discord, you just need to either resave your chart layout or click the link I just posted. Okay, good enough volume, probably not a strong enough candle shape. Uh, okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get those profit target fixed. So yeah, Ghost. Like I've mentioned multiple times here, the way I'm judging my entry is better than reference price equals good entry, worse than reference price equals bad entry. That's the base starting point here, right? And then I can add in more variables than that, right? So good entry is better than blue line, worse entry is above or worse than the blue line, right? And then best entry is the point where you spend the least amount of time in drawdown relative to your best entry price or to a good entry price. Okay, that looks to be correct. Cool. Looks a bit funky. Okay. All right, that looks better. Okay, decreasing volume, no dice. Decreasing volume, no dice. Brood bouncing around, no dice. And for us to get increasing outlier volume here, really should not be that difficult. ES may be the easiest of the combos here. Again, the standard that we need for increasing volume here isn't that high. So if we aren't able to get there, maybe setting up as a pretty slow, not worth trading type day. The other commitment I guess I want to make here, said this before, to be determined how well I've actually implemented it here in the past. But I want to be a little bit more obsessive over protecting my time a little bit when I'm trading, right? So on those days where things aren't behaving how you expect, or you're not getting the looks that you want, or you're not getting the volume that you want when it's appropriate, I'm going to cut those days short, right? And go for a cup of coffee or do something else. I tend to make things worse when I try to trade when things are like suboptimal, or when I'm looking for like an exception, right? For lack of a better term. So what I want to do here is, yeah, be a little bit more proactive in protecting myself when I see scenarios or days or um, conditions where I am not expected to have a very sharp or very strong edge. I want to make sure that I'm just like walking away. I think ultimately that's going to be a better outcome for me, and just protecting a larger portion of my mental capital. When things get slow and things get short from the market, I think that I can also like mimic that personality a little bit. And that's not worth it. It's not worth building stress for something that you're not expected to make any money off of. Kind of a terrible use of our mental capital resources. So just making sure that I manage those expectations better is going to be very important for me. And something that I want to focus on here a little bit better. like I always say, right? We get paid for our decisions, not our time. And that's a very important distinction, but I think it also applies more than just like intraday when you're about to place a trade. I think that that needs to be a little bit more of an encapsulating philosophy. The other the other thing that I suck at is I'm very bad, right? I should say bad. I feel guilty taking time off, or I feel guilty not watching the market sometimes. It's a very self-imposed feeling or a very self-imposed limiting belief. So like using that guilt to power through burnout or to power through suboptimal conditions is also not something I should be doing. So really trying to maximize that a little bit. I'm fundamentally self-employed. I don't always act like I am. Sometimes Mr. Market's my employer. All right, so that's a good volume profile. I mean, looking at 400 probably isn't the move. We're probably looking at 500 here. Okay, so we're looking at the aggressive entry technique. Stop loss would be 369. And you're looking at what, 383? I go higher, close. So 371 is a stop. So 23,371. Ask 0. And you'd be looking at like 2 contracts here, right? You'd be looking at 2. So let's see how it finds support here inside this, under this reference price here. I would say right now, probably not a tremendous enthusiasm on that breakout. So I'm being very, very patient here. 15 seconds to the 5-minute time frame. That could be my catalyst then for the opportunity. Little trigger there. Let's see. That was kind of anticlimactic. Being patient, I wouldn't say that it's been anywhere close to the correct reaction inside the entry zone. So base expectation is this probably fakes out. I timed that up perfectly. Again, if it sets up, we could just play this on the 5. Not much needs to change. Stop loss would be 367 now. Probably call it 368. Might make me size down just a little bit, actually. Might go from 3 contracts to 2. For now, yeah, I don't think the pullback's going to come together. Like, I think that the move that it has to happen is a little bit too aggressive. right? So I would need to pull back into like 60. So I just for now have the aggressive setup because I think it's the most likely entry. But yeah, for now, theoretically, it should still be the pullback, but I just think that the aggressive is most likely. So that's why I have it set up like this. Um, just a little inside breezy here. Okay, so we can maybe possibly watch the aggressive entry technique. So it needs to be under 62, right, as our base starting point. So it goes there. Either way, we're kind of looking at a one contract play here by the looks of it now. 87, 66, right, is 21 points. So that's one contract. From 61 to 31, same thing, right? Still one contract. So we've kind of got stuck in the middle here a little bit. Again, if we can get the aggressive entry technique and tight risk, that would be ideal. Again, right, we're back to looking for the aggressive technique. Stop loss 372.50, and we're looking for a breakout above 88. Okay, so again, getting everything set up here. 372. Stop. Okay, now we're looking for a gentle pullback here under the blue line. Just a one contract play, right? Just the one contract play. And we're looking under 388, right? So 4 points, the very minimum. On 89.75, that's the best I've seen so far. Okay, just on 88.75, still not quite enough. Okay, this is where we're going to start to get our potential pullback. All right, guys, I am in 23 387.75, 387.75, stop loss at 72. A little bit of an early entry here by the looks of it. Let's sanity check this just for a second. Not an ideal post-entry reaction. Stop is 372. I just got stopped out on that. Minus 325.02. Kind of mean. Oh, man. All right, let's wait it out. Of course, it's a little shake and fake scenario. Classic. So maybe on the 3-min here, we can try a stab. Right, same thing. We're looking for a move towards 500. 374 would be the stop loss. Okay, guys, I am in 394.25, 394.25, stop loss 374, one contract, 3 min time frame. Okay, so let's see if this thing now has the legs to push. Got to get over 400 here, right? That's what we need to see. And theoretically, my same thesis should be in play here. Like to see that separation. And back above entry price. Hmm. A little bit of deja vu to last week where kind of felt like I got into some trades that just weren't moving right away or weren't moving as expected right away. You know, being down 2 points here on this when it's not really moving. It's a little bit maybe of a concern, especially with the context of it being just under 400. I would have liked to have seen probably a little bit more enthusiasm, sorry, on that reaction. Hmm. Again, a little inside bar doesn't really kill me here, but I would like to see enthusiasm, right? A lack of enthusiasm here post entry early is a little bit of a red flag. Come on. Hmm. Okay, so we're watching this 400 touch here, right? If it can get up and over and really fly through, we should be in good shape. If it can't, then I'm going to have to look to get out. Hmm. Come on. Any day now here, NQ. Any day now. All right, so I have to look for an exit here by the looks of it, unless this gives me a crazy close. It did not. So gonna look to get out of here in a second. Try to see if I can get a pop around 400. See if we can give me that breakout here. Come on. Ooh, I thought that for a second that 401 was going to be the rocket ship. See, one last attempt. Let's see if it's got it. Come on, bounce with enthusiasm here. Not outlier volume. Okay, watch this. Might be my chance to get out here, guys. Come on, come on. Come on, get over 400. Come on. All right. All right, team. I've tried to give this as much time as I can reasonably give it. It doesn't seem to want to be cooperating with any reasonable amount of context. I kind of feel like I'm early if it's going to break out here to the upside, and I don't get paid for being early. So that's like a very long-winded way of me saying that I'm looking for my exit here. Let's see if we can get the pop. I'm trying to get that 400 touch or as close to it as I possibly can. Still think that there's like an enthusiastic breakout around that area happening, which I think could give me that little extra oomph. This it. Nope. All right, guys, I am out. Exit price 397.50, 397.50. All out 397.50. All right. Not exactly a monster win here, but I think I managed that about as well as I could have, all things considered. If it wants to set back up, right, we can look to play the aggressive entry technique maybe on this breakout here and then do something like this, right? Use the previous high a day, right, as our resistance. So like that 403. Basically, we want to see that 400 turn into support. We kind of like front ran it a little bit here. And I don't mean that in like a negative context, but we got in kind of hoping that we could get that support post entry. And then we didn't really see it, right? That's what our breakout trigger told us. So then the reaction post breakout trigger kind of unenthusiastic. So I'm just not going to get pot committed to that. I'd wait for it to reset and then I can try again. And if I'm early, I'm probably wrong, right? Or a high probability that I'm wrong. And I don't get paid for being early. There's no financial benefits to it. Just stress, right? More than anything. So considering, yeah, that it got stuck, I'm pretty happy walked away with a green there. Yeah, same thing as me here, Kiki. I'm down 235.04. So pretty much spot on. Again, we're like, 11, 12 points away from being nicely green. We don't need much here. So it's important, I think, not to make things worse. But yeah, we gave that every chance we could. It didn't want to separate over 400. I think we gave it 3 attempts to break out over 400. It didn't want to do so. Let's take the win and run. Freaking pain in the butt, but it's the way she goes. It's better than being down 2 points or 3 points or 5 points or 10 points. I think that's the other thing I need to honestly just get over my ego here, where my ego sometimes tells me I need to like go down with the ship. So like if I know I'm wrong, sometimes I like need to feel the pain. I don't think that that's a very good approach. I need to be taking the first lifeboat I can out of trades if they're not behaving well, not kind of hoping out that the Titanic won't sink. Kind of my thought process. And I think if I saw it go to 400 to now be 389.75, probably not feeling good about myself. And I would imagine that's where the negative self-talk kicks in. Okay, we still haven't really invalidated this confirmation here, right? No lower low. So high conviction breakout. There it goes. Especially one with a volume profile that accompanies it. It puts me in good situation. Again, I don't think I would have been able to close at that 419. Let's go, Jared. Nice work. So let's see if this thing wants to set back up. Needs to hold above previous high a day, right? So we'll call that 408. Has to close above 408.50. Has to. Close price exactly 408.50. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so we're looking at a 405.75 stop loss with a reference price of 419.25. So this might take a few minutes here to set back up. Looking at this, right, I might be getting a better look on the 3-min than the 5-min. So if I don't get an entry here on this 3, I will have another opportunity. Okay, so like I said, stop loss would be 405. 23,405. And we're looking for the aggressive. Now, I could theoretically look for the pullback technique here, but it's going to be tight for me to get the appropriate risk-reward ratio to be able to justify that trade. Sorry, the position sizing ratio to justify that trade. which is why, again, I'm preferring the aggressive technique. Um, Thing has in store for us. 405. Okay, on the pullback here, we would need an entry right off of like area is actually not too far off. Need under 410 pretty much. So we'll call that 386. And as close to 400 really as I can get would be my reference. So 400 here would be my reference price, right? The previous area where we struggled to break out of, I would like to see that act as support. Okay, well, inside bar again doesn't kill me. Come on, pretty creepy rally here towards 400. Watching pretty closely here. Looking for under 4. I saw 400 on the dot. Let's see. Okay, watching closely. This might be my opportunity. 425. Come on, tick under. Oh, that's so mean. It gave us half a tick under, or half a point under, sorry, and then it flew 7 points. So like literally like a 3-second window to click submit. Margin of error there, just a little bit too fine, maybe. Again, same thing. If this thing sets up on the short, nice work, Nick. If this thing closes here, I could look for the aggressive, right? That's fine. Nice work, Kiki. Probably puts you back to green on the day, or at least close. Still think I have a chance here. Come on. Still watching here. Okay, and if it's going to want to go aggressive here, totally reasonable, then we're looking at a 402 stop loss. Reference price, we're going to call it here 410-ish, 410.75, so let's call it 410. So we're looking at a 23,402 stop loss. 1075 we're looking for. All right, guys, I am in 3 contracts, 1025, 410.25, stop loss 402. 3 contracts. All right, I'm just micromanaging this just for a second. Yeah, 410.25, guys, 410.25 entry price. $410.25, $410.25. So far, so good here. Great entry, Herschel. I'm just paranoid watching this just a little bit here. Okay, push, baby. Like to see this get up over 420. Nice. Come on, push. There it is. So give me a little bit more. And now squeeze, 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 squeeze. Squeeze, you son of a bitch. This is your moment. This is your opportunity here, NQ. Come on, push. Push. Come on. Okay, it's got to hold 420 here, right? If it doesn't hold 420, I'm getting out. Okay, it did hold. I'm also a little bit tempted to just take this and enjoy my life. All right, see if we can get one more good pop out of this. I'm starting to feel like this is out of juice a little bit. We can get a good exit. I've just expected 420 to act more like support. It's kind of just been a meh area where there's not really like any incredible level of enthusiasm here. I'm just looking for that enthusiasm, right? If it's not going to be there, I don't want to be in the trade. Push, baby. Yeah, it goes 422 and then right under 420 again. Okay, so watching. Give me a pop. Are you fucking kidding me? That might have been the pop I was waiting for. Come on. Okay, just so everyone's clear, right? I'm looking for my exit here, team. I am looking for my exit, right? On the uptick. Just so everyone is very, very clear, right? Come on. Okay, finger on the trigger here. Come on. Do one more uptick. Come on. Come on, give me the exit. Over 420. Over 420. Come on. Come on. Struggling. Doesn't want to give it to me. All right. Kind of a shitty reaction again. Where did I find my exit? Come on. Keeps dying on me. Come on. Oh, don't do it. Fuck. No way. Come on, go. Oh, Jesus. That honestly absolutely flirted with disaster there. So I have to get out, guys. Like I am, yeah, I really need to find an exit here. I don't know why I'm struggling to do it. I hate myself a little bit right now. Ugh. I mean, so I'm a big believer, right? That stress in a trade comes from not taking a decision that you had control over. I had the decision to close my trade above 410. I didn't take that decision. That's where the stress has now come from. Ugh. I feel like a little bit of a doofus for that. This might be my chance here to get out. Oh, turned into a bit of a mental drain. All right, I've just been stopped. Fuck's sake. Oh, that was needlessly red. Fuck me. I talked about not going down with the ship, and I went down with the ship. So 8:55:11. I felt so stupid. But yeah, Todd, like if you're placing a trade and you don't know how to exit it, dude, you can't be placing that trade, right? That's asking for trouble. Fuck. I feel stupid about that last one. Why didn't I just find my fucking clothes? Well, yeah, I mean, if you do it accidentally, that's the reason why we got to make sure we know how to close, right? Like, that's the exact reason why we need to know how. Like, come on, guys. We got to make sure we're controlling the variables we can't control. There's nothing particularly challenging about any of those entry things. I mean, I am being told mean reversion here now, right? This is the setup. We'd be looking at this, right? It'd be like that. Let's see. Okay, so watching here closely, like I said, stop loss would be I call it 400 on the dot. This might be a pretty quick one, guys, so be careful. Watch this closely. Possibly looking for the aggressive stop would be 393 then. Reference price would be this low. Very, very tight risk. So, I mean, that would be very interesting. Hey, call it 394 stop. Hey guys, I am in short 391 on the dot. 391 on the dot. 5 contracts. Stop loss 394. Break down, you bugger. Come on. A little bit of a stressful trade because the risk is so tight that I'm really trying to micromanage this just for a second until I get just like an ounce of separation. Until I get that separation, it's a little bit of a nervy entry. Yeah, okay. Fuck. Just got stopped out literally as I said it. Classic. So 12:55:28 here. Self-inflicted again. Annoying, 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 annoying. Yeah, I'm taking another stab here on just this being a fake out. Stop loss is 399. Entry was 393.75. So in short, 393.75. Stop loss 395. Same amount of units. I have a little bit of a confession to make. But I'm back in at 399. Actually, price is 450. This is a dangerous trade though because I took it convinced that the fake out was going to happen more than anything else. So I kind of feel like I'm getting a little bit bullshit bailed out. What do you mean trying to catch up? What do you mean by that? I don't know what that means. What does trying to catch up mean? Can you please clarify? I'm confused by that statement. Exactly what Nick said, 405. I'm looking to get out of this though, guys, in a second, because I kind of feel like I'm getting bailed out a little bit for something that I shouldn't be getting bailed out on. Okay, keep going, get under 90, and I can justify staying in, maybe even pyramiding here. Again, still looking for clarity on that trying to catch up comment. Any context would be really appreciated. All right. So even get a breakdown here through 89. Really, if I've learned anything here today, it's I should have been buying my stop loss as my entry pretty much all day. It would have been really, really good shape. Okay, well, it's a weird statement to hit and run with. Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking for clarity, right? It's kind of hard for me to give you feedback if I don't know the context. Hey, last chance saloon to get under 90. Otherwise, I'm bailing. And I'm literally giving this 30 seconds in my head. I've not been very good at listening to myself when I've been telling myself these instructions. So I'm really trying to, like I said, like I have this predisposition for some reason here in the last little bit to want to go down with the ship. That like go down with the ship mentality is honestly really pissing me off. So the workaround, right, is to be super deliberate here with what I'm doing and to basically just like build up that muscle memory of closing. I've not had a very good muscle memory there, so we're pretty much at that 30 seconds now. So I'm gonna look to get out here right now, guys. Okay, I'm out at 90. I am out at 90. Made back about $1,000 there. So down 805.50. Down 805.50. And again, I'm trying to not go down with the ship. If I stop going down with the ship, I'm up quite a lot. Probably the streak doesn't end. And I'm not a pain in the ass to deal with. I'm trying to be more proactive, not reactive to price action. I've been a little bit too reactive in the last 3 or 4 days. Oh, and it's a piss take. I don't need to be. I just need to sit there, trade my rules, ignore everything else. Interesting. CL, very, very interesting. Giving me a setup here. Oh, CL would be something like this here. Right, red to green breakout, high volume, kind of had that mid-morning reversal. So I'd be watching this. And honestly, guys, like that last trade was kind of a bullshit one, to be honest. Like this probably isn't one I should have taken. I'm being super honest. The first entry should have been my second entry, right? So like I bought the fake out on my second attempt. I should have just bought the fake out on my first attempt. Buying it on the second one after I've been stopped out, it's kind of flirting with disaster. All right, so watching crude here. Yeah, I'm not too proud to say that. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. All right, so we're watching here. We're looking at a 65.78 as an entry price. Oh, 82 now. That's mean. So if this thing does set up and gives me a decent volume profile, we could look to jump in. Maybe we have a chance here on this 3 min. So continuation of that initial thesis that we played. Let's go, Doug. Congratulations on passing all your fundeds, man. That's fantastic. Perfect reason to not place any further trades. Nice, Nick. You're in pretty good shape here. Okay, again, so we're back kind of in business here on E or NQ here to the downside. 395 is a kind of interesting stop loss. Reference price would have to be previous low, which is 386.50. So you're looking at, 8 points of risk here to the downside. It's pretty reasonable. I'll go 396 stop loss. Okay, so let's see if it's got the juice here. Give me a little gentle pullback. A little bit more. Yeah, absolutely, Nick. Sounds like you crushed it, man. Go enjoy. Okay, so watching. Hey guys, I'm in short at 89, in short at 389, stop loss 396, in short 389, 3 contracts, stop loss 396. We'll write it out in a second. I just want to micromanage this just for a moment on this pullback, just make sure. $389 entry, 389. 1 point off. There it goes. All right. Here you go that I thought I had. Premature. Just got stopped. All right. Oh, fuck me. What is going on? Is this another fake out entry that it should have been? Fuck. All right. Made back $100 there on that little fake out entry. I might look at this thesis again here. So sitting at 1165.63. I've made this more difficult on myself than I need to. That's annoying. Yeah. I feel a little bit sloppy about my trading here today. Just annoyed with myself. I keep wanting to go down with the ship. Keep going down with the ship. Don't know why I'm committed to doing that. Chances to get out and I ignore them. Like that's bullshit. I mean, we're looking here possibly for CL breakout. Okay, where are you gonna find support here? So 65.85 for now. Reference price 65.90. So 5 cents a risk. You'd be looking at 10 contracts here. Okay, so again, same thing. Can't really pull back too much more though. Okay. So we're looking at a 65.84 stop loss, reference price 65.89. Yeah, well, that's not interesting, right? That looks like kind of a bit of a failure. Same thing with this. Well, this could just be a buy the stop loss entry. Stop there would have to be 78 if that was going to be the move. So let's say that I'm looking at my chart right now, right? Green line 65.84, 236. Stop loss would be 65.78, right? So what would buying the stop loss be? It would be, instead of having an entry here at 65.84, it would be at 65.78, with then your stop loss to be the difference between these two, right? So it's where you would place your stop loss, you'd make your entry target. That makes sense? I just explained it, right? It's the difference between what your implied entry price would be and your stop loss price. In this CL example, right, it was 6 cents, right? So what's the difference between this green line and this red line? It's 6 cents. So it'd be 78 minus 6. Right? Exactly like I described there. Guys, it's just taking market context, right? Like you're asking me to give you like some binary thing. I'm looking at the market. Setups I've had here today have been faking me out. They've been faking me out, reversing at my stop loss and then going. So all I'm looking at is the context that the market is giving me and executing off of that. It's not like some crazy, overcomplicated, like this, then that statement. Here's what the market is showing me. Here's the context I've developed here so far today. Let me adjust to adapt for market conditions. Like, I think I've been pretty clear about that throughout the entirety of the session, right? So it's just that we've seen markets be choppy. We've seen them fake out. We've seen them do these things. So base assumption is markets are going to behave like they always have until proven otherwise. I don't have any proven otherwise here right now. So assuming chop and drop or chop and go or fake out and go, kind of a reasonable expectation based on the context of the market. But one thing we have to understand here, team, right, is that the only absolute in trading is that your next loss is around the corner, right? So everything else is just a game of probabilities. It's just trying to stack up as many odds in your favor and using whatever information the market is giving you to make those decisions. So if every decision that you make has to be like a rigid yes, then no structure, you're going to miss out on a lot of moves because things aren't always going to move that cleanly. So all we're doing, right, is taking the new information that we're given after market open, and we're using that information to beef up our trading plan, right? We're unable to keep that context. Not quite sure how else to address that, right? Because no trading day is the same, and no set of price action is ever the same, and no entry is ever the same, and no exit is ever the same. So we got to be able to maintain that like intellectual flexibility here, right? With being able to interpret new information that the market gives us. Oh, have I seen lots of fake outs? Yes. Okay. If I've seen lots of fake outs, maybe it makes sense, right, to buy your stop loss. Okay. Have I seen a really aggressive market? Okay. Yes. Might be more appropriate to be faster, right, in setting up your orders. Okay, have I seen a market that is going in one direction, going the other? Okay, maybe that's an opportunity for me to be more aggressive, taking profit. So it's literally just taking context that the market is giving us and using that to beef up my trading plan. And that's all we're trying to do, right? All we're trying to do. Does that make sense to everybody? Like I need confirmation here, guys. I need confirmation. Because if everyone's going to be asking about the exceptions, right, or how to do this or how to do that, we need to make sure that we all understand, right, the context behind why we're making those decisions. So is it abundantly clear to absolutely everybody? All right. Okay, not enough volume to play this to the downside, right? Not enough. Kind of maybe looks like a bit like a cup and handle here on ES, less so on NQ, but NQ's back to flirting with 400. I don't know, Deb. I honestly don't care if it's going to go to all-time highs or not. All I'm trying to do is trade the price action in front of me. I honestly don't care about if it's at 26,000 or 22,000. It makes no difference to me. Like, I don't need much to get green on the day here. The market's also not giving me much of a range. I might have to just suck it up at some point. CL, I'd like to see some sort of element of enthusiasm. I'm looking at anything that wants to give me any element of momentum. I don't see enough volume anywhere to justify any of these opportunities. So, really just trying to see if something shows up. Time of day maybe is a little bit unlikely. Okay, so maybe here's our rejections. Let's see if volume wants to defend them. Okay, so we're probably looking at CL to the downside. That's my best look here. So we're immediately looking at the aggressive, right? Because that's our most likely entry. Okay, and we'd be looking 65.71 as a stop loss. Obviously, be patient here, guys. Please be patient. Okay, watching here pretty closely. And now just looking for a gentle pullback, 2 cents. All right, sweet guys. So I'm in 65.67, 10 contracts, stop loss 65.71. Okay, so far so good on this. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more. At least on this one, I pretty much have been green right away. I would like to see that narrative effectively continue, though, right? We don't need much more here. Keep going. Oh, this is wrong. In NQ short. This is so sorry, guys. I typed this out. I don't even know how I typed this out. In CL short at 65, 67, 10 cons. $71. Not quite sure what happened. Why is every trade doing this to me? Come on, die, die, die. There we go. All right, flush down here, big time, guys. Let's get a big flush here. Let's get a big flush. I'd love to see like low 50s. Sorry, it's CL, guys. Yeah, it's CL. Apologies for the typo. I don't know how that happened there. Muscle memory of just trading so much NQ. All right, keep going here. We're almost in business. Hmm. Just trying to see if this thing has one last big flush in it. Need like 5 more cents. That's a bit of a dangerous thing to say out loud. But that's kind of the number I need here. If it's got the juice. Again, just need like one decent flush into the mid 50s. Okay, let's see if it's got it. It's going to happen fast if it does, guys. It's going to happen fast if it does. Okay, couple more. No, that would be my P&L exit point, I think. Because that would put me green on the day, which is the priority here. Always. So we're looking, right? We're looking. I need like 53, 54-ish. Okay, that happened a little bit too fast. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this thing can now flush and make lower lows. This is going to be our chance, team. This is going to be our chance. So watch here very carefully. Okay, crack, crack, crack. Here we go. How's everyone feeling? Everyone feeling okay? Come on, here we go. Here we go. Everyone feeling good? Yeah? Snow, maybe, hopefully. Yeah, this is going to be our chance here, team. This is going to be our chance. That's 1,300. Let's see if it's got a bit more here. Come on, baby. Give me one last flush. One last flush. Come on. Come on. Okay, watch this spread. Watch the spread. There's going to be time to get out here, guys. Going to be time to get out. All right, I'm all out 65.50. All out 65.50 plus 1,700. All out. Woo! Nice work, team. That put everyone green on the day. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Nice work, AJ. Really similar to me. Excuse me, I'm 636.40. I'm 636.40. Ooh. Nice work, John. Nice work. So look, guys, I know I bitch and scream a lot about position sizing, but John, that's exactly why I bitch and scream about it, right? You chose to make a decision based on your contract sizing that matched your personality, and you put yourself in a situation to be able to execute that trade properly from start to finish, right? You sized down, removed your anxiety, and still finished green on the day. That for me is the most important part, right? So honestly, John, really, really proud of you. Thank you for providing that example for us. But that's exactly the reason why, right? We all have a different number that breaks us. We all have a different number that sets us over the edge. And so we need to be extremely selfish in that pursuit. Oh, man, here I was thinking it was going to be an easy week, huh? All right, team, any questions here? Any questions? Yeah, fire away, AJ. Fire away. So the problem with that, right, is if I were to log in on my trading view on a in here, I'm gonna get something that's called or they give you a concurrent data warning, right? So then this trading view is going to cut off, the other trading view is going to cut off, and I'm not going to have a usable trading view anywhere. So the problem or the reason why I'm not able to do that is because it then cuts off your data. So you're only able to have your trading view logged in on one window. If it's logged in execution wise on more than one window, it cuts out to wherever it had the most recent tick. So we've tried to do that in the past. It just constantly cuts out or interrupts my trading view data. And I then no longer have any visibility over price. I just have an error message that says concurrent data warning. So the other element here, right? I think I'm pretty clear and transparent and obvious over what no, for sure. Like I get that, but here's the reason why you missed the trade, right? You missed the trade because you wait for me to say that I'm in and then it moves quickly. I'm not saying you specifically here, Ajay, right? That's not going to make a difference. So if I'm having my execution window and you're still waiting for me to type everything in, submit my order, right? Tell you what my price is, and then you're setting everything up, you're going to have the exact same problem as you just had, except now there's even more excuses over why you need to slow down. So I don't think that that's the reason why people miss trades. I don't think that's the reason why people make money or lose money. I think people do that because they're waiting for me to say that I'm in a position instead of learning the strategy and learning why we're taking the trades. And then, yeah, when shit happens and things move quickly, they complain because they then didn't have enough time to jump in. So the workaround to that isn't giving you more visibility over my entry because it's still going to create the same problem. Like it's not, doesn't solve anything. So like I tell you guys my reference price, I tell you what I'm looking for, and I tell you exactly what I'm trying to do, right? On my entries, all I'm trying to do is get a better price than my blue line. So if you're trying to do the same thing, then you're going to get in all the same trades that I get in on, right? And there'll probably be a few exceptions where I get into some trades that you don't, and you get into some trades that I don't, but that's going to be totally reasonable. But the pros and cons of every technique, right, are pros and cons. So the con of waiting for me to say that I'm in means that you're probably going to miss trades that run really quickly and they don't give you an opportunity to pull back. The other con of that, right, is when you take those trades and you're 30 seconds late, then you take the same position sizing. All of a sudden, now you've got $400 more risk than I do, and you're losing way less or way more money, right? Instead of actually being able to manage your risk appropriately. So the reason why I give you guys all this detail beforehand is so that everyone can try to replicate it as close to me as possible. Any extra stuff, it's not actually going to help you accomplish that any better or any more effectively than the information we have. And certainly not to a point where dealing with the concurrent data warnings would be worth it. And it's not about trying to get the exact same price as me, guys, because I'm not thinking that way. All I'm thinking is, did I get an entry better than blue line? Like that's it, right? So if I got an entry better than the blue line, good entry. If I got an entry worse than the blue line, bad entry. If I got an entry here today, right at the blue line, good entry. So like if I'm judging my trades based on did I get in at that price or not, then that should be what we're all doing too, right? And then the way that you improve your technique and you further refine your skill is you then track, okay, my entry was 65 7 or 60 65 67. Let's just pretend I got 65 70. Now you go in and you ask me a question. Hey, Michael, what were you looking for here to get that entry at 65 70 when I got 65 67? Let's go over that trade, because now we have a benchmark that we can compare against. Now we've got something that we can actually look towards and talk about and actually like reasonably size our positions. And then I can say, hey, yeah, in this trade, like I was looking for this, or I was looking for that, I was looking for this. And now you can improve your technique and you can actually start to replicate that even better. So that's the point of this, right? Like, I don't think you're going to make any money long-term consistently if you're waiting for me to say that I am in, because you're always going to make less when we're right and you're going to lose more when we're wrong. So I tried to have things set up in here so that those circumstances or those scenarios are like kind of hedged, but it requires like a deliberate choice on each individual's trader's part to do that. Like, I'm not going to make any specific comments about any individual, but it's obvious who submits trades for feedback and who doesn't. And again, right, if you're just sending me executions, cool, send me your trades, journal them, right? Use the templates, use the documents, use all of those beautiful resources. Right? You give me that information, guys. I will help you improve as much as I possibly can. I will give you all the time in the world, right? But you blame me for losing money or for forcing you to take a trade. It's not the reality, right? I'm here to teach you how to fish, not to fish for you. I don't teach you like you don't catch a fish when it's on someone else's line, right? You don't go to like pull that fish out of the water and claim it as your own. So the only way that we remove and manage our trading stress is by understanding why we're making decisions instead of chasing them, right? If I am chasing an entry, then I am starting my trade with anxiety, right? Chasing anything never leads to any success. Like if you talk to a girl, for example, right? And you send her like 15 text messages in a row, she's gonna think you're a freak and not respond to you, right? Like you're too thirsty. All right. So even if she liked you in the beginning, you'll just like talk yourself out of it. Self-sabotage, right? So if we want to be consistent, we want to make money, cool. If you don't feel like I'm giving you the information that you need to be able to make that decision yourself, fantastic, right? Ask the question, get that feedback, get better, improve. But you're not going to improve by chasing, guaranteed. And honestly, Jason, like, um, the more that we try to make money in general trading, or like the more that we try to force making money, generally the worse things go. Pretty much always. And really good decision, guys, to close where we did, right? Jason, we have to have another conversation if you're meeting your girls at Hooters. Like we can do much better for you there, buddy. All right. Any other questions here, team? Any other questions? We're pretty deep into overtime. I am not going to place another trade here on the day. Yeah, no, maybe. No, I'm pretty done here. I'm pretty done. Let's go, Corinna. Nice work. Good job. good, Tony. That's a positive, right? Like the more time you spend in there, the better. Let's go. Nice work. 3,300 in 4 days. That's fantastic. Congratulations. All right, team. Final call for questions here. Final call for questions. All right. Well, same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But have yourselves a great day, team, and we'll talk soon.